Greetings from the kingdom of the Son of God in the beautiful San Gabriel Valley. War, politics, military service. What should a Christian's position be on these subjects? And they're hotly contested debates within Christianity, right? Now, if we're just going to go by Scripture, not what churches in the past have thought on these things, but what the Bible actually addresses in the New Testament, because we know in the Old Testament, I mean, the Israelites were going to war often. God, Jehovah, is a man of war according to Scripture. So anybody saying that God is anti-war is delusional. But we are in the new covenant, right? So what should our position be on these things? Well, one, war is never identified as a sin. Okay. Now, what should a Christian partake in war? Which leads to that, is it okay for a Christian to do military service? And I would say that the Bible in the New Testament doesn't address this as a negative or a positive, whether you should or shouldn't. Notice that when Jesus came upon the Roman centurions, he never rebuked them, said that's sin, right? What did he say? He said, just be just. Just be just. If it was sin, certainly the Son of God would have told them. That was his whole purpose. So right there, we know the military service for a Christian in the New Covenant is not sin. Despite what a lot of the pacifist Christians would tell you. It's not sin. Just be honorable in your conduct. And really, the military does teach you to be honorable. That's a big thing in the military is honor culture, right? And so military service, again, nowhere in Scripture forbidden. Nowhere in Scripture labeled as a sin, despite what anyone tells you now. Throughout church history, there's been different positions. Everything from crusaders of the Catholic Church to even modern day, where Christians are really fanatical about war in America. And there's been everything from absolute pacifism. But I'm just going to go by what Scripture says, and it never condemns military service, which leads to war. Is it appropriate for a Christian to go to war? That one's, again, it's never condemned in Scripture. Scripture is silent on that issue. And killing somebody in war is not murder, despite what people, again, that's false information. When you go back to the Old Testament, in the Ten Commandments, thou shalt not kill. Yet, Jehovah commanded the Israelites to take out and kill whole nations, including women and children. How do we reconcile that? Well, murder, going to war and killing is not murder. The Ten Commandments were a civil law of the Israelites. Just like we have laws in America where you can't murder somebody, but yet the army commands people to go to war and even kill people at times. See, murder and killing someone in war is not the same thing by definition. And there is something honorable about defending your country. When you go and fight in war, there are rules of engagement. You're not allowed to kill civilians unless there's an immediate threat from a civilian. You just can't go randomly kill people in war. So anybody who has that idea is just not right. You're delusional. Now, of course, things happen. So again, this is something that would just be up to someone's personal conviction, because the Bible does not condemn it. Okay? Now, let's talk about politics. Now, the beauty of the New Covenant is it's not this super detailed list of do's and don'ts. A lot of things in life, you're actually going to have the liberty to make your own choice. Isn't that what Jesus came to give us? Liberty, not to sin. But there's things that are not talked about where you just have to make a choice based on your personal convictions, your discernment. Politics is one of them, right? Now, the one thing to be careful of is to entangle yourself in the affairs of this life. That's the one thing that Paul says. What did he talk about? What are the affairs of this life? It doesn't mention politics. It could be anything, right? But I would say if you're going to get involved in politics again, be honorable. That would be the command of Jesus, who never rebuked anybody for being involved in politics, never rebuked soldiers, just told them, be honorable. So that's really, and to me, it's just a common sense approach. It's scriptural. You're not violating anything in the New Testament that is taught. God is not anti-war. Even Jesus says you're going to have wars and rumors of wars. Do not be troubled by them. So even as Christians, we're not to get too much our hair in a bunch. But there is a place to speak out when wars are unjust, which I feel that this war with Iran is. One, because my loyalty as an American is America first, America only, no foreign entanglements. I don't want us doing the bidding of a foreign nation fighting their enemies, and that's what's going on. But my being against it isn't because I think war itself is bad or evil. War is war. Always going to have them. So that's it. Very simple. I know many people are going to get into the weeds, and you just take the plain words of Scripture as they are. Hail Christ, hail victory.